Hey, what's up guys? My name is Daniel Lopez with Invest in You Finance, and today we are going to be talking about how much money do you need every month to have $1 million after 10 years. So I've written most of that information here on the board. The answer is, please first subscribe, please like and smash that like button. And also, thank you guys for watching the channel. But as you can see, the number that you need every month is $5,000. So that means that every month you will need to contribute $5,000 for 10 years. And this is assuming that you invest in a S&P 500 index fund and it just tracks the market and you get a 10% annual rate of return. And that's typically average. So if you just invest $5,000 every month, that means that total for the year, you're gonna be investing $60,000. And if you do that for 10 years, your total principal that you've invested into the stock market in your individual account is going to be $600,000. That's just the $5,000 that you've put in every month for 10 years. But compound interest is amazing. It does amazing things. And this is how the traditional retirement accounts make you money, because over time your money grows. Except this is like a traditional retirement account on steroids. You're trying to get to $1 million in 10 years. So you have to deposit this much money. And the way I calculate this was I basically just, Googled compound interest calculator. It popped up, and I remember when I was, starting out, I calculated it, and I was contributing maybe I was getting paid bi-weekly, so I was contributing maybe like $2,300 every paycheck, so every 2 weeks. It was around that number. I had a sheet that my dad helped me put together, and I would basically put my net worth every year on that sheet to just track it with how I'm ending up at the goal. Anyways, so you're gonna wanna invest $5,000 every month for 10 years. And this is why Warren Buffett says that no one wants to get rich slow. Everybody wants to be a millionaire in one year, or everyone wants, if you look online, people are saying oh, be a millionaire like this quick. Yes, it is possible, but for me, my goal was to have $1 million saved up in 10 years. And everyone else can have their own goal, and you can decide on what you want. But the key is you need to have a dream, you need to have a goal, and once you've established a dream and a goal, then you can come up with a plan to figure out how you're going to get there. So if this is something you're interested in doing, then you can take the steps to start trying to figure out how you can come up with $5,000 every month to contribute to an individual stock account so that you can have $1 million in 10 years. I just wanted to show you guys how the compound interest looked. Basically, you're gonna put in $5,000 every month while you're buying an ETF that tracks the stock market that follows the S&P 500. So every month you're putting $5,000 in. At the end of the year, your total deposit is $60,000. So for year one, you made $2,750, and that's how much money in interest that you got in your account. So if you add those two together, you have $62,750. Well then, that balance is now in your individual stock brokerage account, and you're continuing to add the 5,000. So year two, you're adding another $60,000 at the end of year two. And the next interest that you're going to be getting on the total amount, which will be the 60 plus the 2,750 plus the next 60, that interest that you got is now equal to $11,775 in interest. So I'm just going to write the totals of your balance that you're going to have at the end of each year. So on year one, your balance is going to be, and I'm just going to round these numbers, $62,000. Then year two, it's going to be $131,000. And year three, $207,000. Year four, you have $291,000. Year five, $383,000. Year six, you have 484, 400. So you're almost at $500,000 at year six. Then compound interest starts, cranking in there, and you have, bam, 595. So you're almost at 600,000 at year seven. Year eight, you have 717. And then year nine, you have 852,000. Ta-da, year 10. Bam. $1 million. $73. So there you are. Your total principal that you put in, the 5,000 every month for 10 years, plus your accrued interest, you made $400,000. And when you add these two together, 600,000 plus 400,000, that gives you $1 million. So this is like the boring way of becoming a millionaire. And it's a question that you have to ask yourself. Okay, first of all, do I even want to become a millionaire? Yes or no? Okay. How much can I contribute every month to an individual stock brokerage account? And the first thing you're gonna want to do is audit your expenses. You're gonna want to go and look at last month, and you're gonna want to categorize everything and see, like, okay, here's my mortgage. Here is, my electric bill. Here's my water bill, my gas bill, my car payment, and your cell phone bill, your groceries. You're gonna have to add all the groceries up, and you're basically just gonna look at your expenses. That's the first thing that you're gonna want to do, so you can see, okay, how much can I contribute? And after you figure out how much you can contribute, then you can look up online a compound calculator, put that number in and see, hypothetically, if you contribute that much amount into an individual brokerage account, buying an S&P 500 index fund that tracks the market, and you yield a 7 to 10% interest rate annually, that'll be your rate of return. What are you going to come up with? What is that number going to be? And is that number good enough for you? And if it's not good enough, what can you do to get that number closer to where you want to be? So then you have to start thinking, oh, okay, like in reality, is this humongous house that I live in worth it? Or am I okay with maybe downsizing? So these are just questions you have to ask yourself. Are you okay working at your job? Do you love your job? Are you enjoying it? Can you picture yourself there for 30 years? Are you enjoying your car? Do you love that $600, $700, $800, $900, $1,000 car payment? Is that something that really like brings you happiness? Are you happy? Like that's like probably should be the first question. Are you happy? And if you are, then continue living your life, enjoy life, be happy, and just count everything that you have as a blessing. But if you're interested in having $1 million in your individual stock brokerage account, this is a boring way to get it. But I'm not a financial advisor. This isn't financial advice. This is just for entertainment purposes only. So take it with a grain of salt. I'm just trying to share my story with you guys, and just want to let you know that here is the math behind it. So it definitely is possible. Right away, I mean, you can see that, yes, minimum, you're gonna need $60,000 annually. And if you're not making that much, then you know that you're gonna have to figure out, okay, how am I gonna get an extra, X amount of dollars? But guys, like I said, the internet is amazing. And now Web3, the metaverse, all this stuff, there's ways to make money. I mean, you can make money doing things. I mean, the easiest thing is if you are an hourly worker, put in an extra shift, because when it comes down to it, this is, like I said in another video, 10 years. Are you willing to endure this for 10 years? So just to give you guys some more information of how I was able to do it, the first 4 years, I lived with my parents. So I didn't have to pay rent, and my expenses were very low. So I was able to put in that amount of money. Then the next 2 years, I moved out. I moved to Pittsburgh, and I had to pay rent, and rent was $500. So I had an expense, an extra expense added. But like I said in my other videos, every year I was getting a promotion. Every year I was increasing my salary, my hourly rate, and ultimately, I mean, I worked a lot. I worked, just to remember how much I worked. Sometimes I would work 98 hours a week. And that's, a lot of hours, because you're out there in the oil field, you have no schedule. You're like a doctor that's on call, but except you're working in the oil field. So you're on call, and you're working from when you start drilling, penetrating the ground looking for oil, to when you finish. And you're there for an unknown period of time. So you can be there 45 days straight, and all you're doing is working shift work, either night shift or day shift, 12 hours a day, up to 14 hours, and even you would get 24-hour days. So this is the extreme case where I was able to basically cram in someone who's worked 30 years of equivalent hours, I would say, like say 14 hours, you know, whatever, 40 hours a week. But I mean, I was working 98 hours a week. So I worked 30 years in hours terms in 10 years. So I was working a lot, and all I did was work, you know, invest. And I knew that, you know, it was only going to be 10 years of my life that I had to do this. But don't get me wrong. I mean, I had a lot of fun. I enjoyed my life. I traveled a lot. I'm a very frugal person. So the only things I spend money on are traveling and food, definitely food, and life experiences. So I'm not, you know, someone who has a new car every year or every 2 years. I've had the same 2011 Toyota Tacoma truck. As a matter of fact, since I started 10 years ago. So I was committed to this goal. And I knew that if I only lived to be, you know, 100 years old, that this is only 10 years out of the 100 years, that's 10% of my life. 10% of your life, you know, step back, boom. Like, step back and you're looking down and you're saying, oh man, 10 years of my life? Like, I can do that for 10 years of my life. So, like I was saying, guys, you just have to have a goal. Like, if this is something that you want to do, or like anything else in life, if you want to start a business, if you want to be like you know, TikTok content creator, a Twitch streamer, whatever you want to be in life, with the internet, you can now be that. If you like to surf and you know you love to surf, you can basically just record yourself, show people like your daily routine, and people are interested in that stuff. And you know, then you sell a course online that says like, hey, this is how you guys surf, and you bring value to your audience, and you can make money. So there are so many ways online to make money that I think with technology and the way things are going in the world, not only can you go the traditional route. I mean, I went the traditional route. I went to, you know, to university and I became a mechanical engineer. But is that a requirement in 2022 to make this amount of money? I would say no, it's not a requirement. And if you want to make money, you can, but you're gonna have to grind. I was grinding the traditional route, working, you know, ridiculous amount, 25 days a month, or, you know, 14 days a month. And I was on call. So if they needed me, I could never plan birthdays, I could never plan weddings, I could never plan, you know, holidays, Christmas. If they needed me to work, I went to work. But I love the job because I was out in the oil field, I was traveling, you know, I got to go travel to Pittsburgh, got to go travel to all over Pennsylvania, all over Ohio, all over West Virginia. And I got to see a lot of things. So, I mean, I just made the best out of it because that's all you can do in life. All you can do in life is make the best out of every situation. And if you have a goal in mind, it is definitely possible. I'm like 99% sure that if you start a goal, if you write it down, if you come up with a plan and you take steps like day by day, you're gonna reach that goal. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Hopefully you guys subscribe, check out my other videos. Trying to make these as fast as I can, trying to give you guys, you know, things that I've done, my experiences, and hopefully they can help you guys out. And hopefully, you know, things can work out. You can reach your goals, you can reach your dreams, and you can just ultimately live a great, amazing life. So thanks guys, I appreciate it. Take it easy, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.